Hey, everybody. Thank you for checking out this sales automation workshop. My name is Jared, and today we're going to take you through setting up a custom pipeline in nutshell with all the automations that we offer. So let's get kicked off here. Let me share my screen. And so the way that you get to your pipelines is you're going to click the sales icon over here on the left. You're going to go down to automation, and then this takes you into the pipeline builder here. So before we get into this, just so you understand how we organize data in nutshell, we use these three main record types. So there's companies, people, and lead records. You can think of the people and company records as the core contact management side of nutshell. So a place to keep all of your contacts or people, also the communication histories that you're having with them. And then you can group them under the company or organization that they're associated with. What leads are used for is anytime you have an active opportunity to work your people and or companies through one of these custom pipelines. Basically, what you'll do is you'll open a lead, you'll attach the people and companies, and you'll choose which of your pipelines you're going to work that lead through. So inside of this account, it looks like we have two existing pipelines. Again, we're going to set one up from scratch here, but a good way of thinking of a pipeline in nutshell is just a set of stages with automations to get your people and companies to an end goal. So of course they do work well for any form of sales. You could have a inbound pipeline, it could be more of an outbound pipeline. You could even have more of a account management pipeline if you're nurturing your existing clients into an upsell. But you can even use these for things that might not be sales related. For instance, we have an implementation pipeline here, which is more of a post-sale project. We have nonprofits that use us for fundraising and donor management, and they'll set up a custom pipeline to match that workflow. So again, just a good way of thinking is just that set of stages with automations to get your people and companies to an end goal. So to create a new pipeline, you can hit this Add New Pipeline at the top here. We're going to call this our Inside Sales Pipeline. I can create that pipeline. The first thing that you want to do is define the stages of your process here. So we're going to add a stage. We're going to just call this first stage New Lead. So now we've got the first stage of the pipeline here, and we're going to define all the stages before we start setting up automations here. So we'll go New Lead. Next stage, we're going to call Qualify. Next stage, we'll just call, we'll actually do a Schedule stage here. Schedule, and then we'll just do Pitch and Close. And you'll notice too, as we do the last stage here, a few additional options you can set up here. So the stage guidance is basically going to appear to your reps when the lead is in that stage. So maybe in the qualifying stage, you have some qualifying questions that you want to appear to your reps as they're working a lead through there. That's available for you. We've got a confidence percentage. So as the lead progresses here, and we'll actually do this live, we'll say this is a 75%. As we go back here, we'll say this is a 50%. And then schedule, we'll do this at like a 30%. Qualify, we'll do this at a 15%. Okay, so basically what that confidence percentage does, it'll increase as the lead progresses through your pipeline here. It's not only good for just judging the rep's confidence in the lead closing, but we do have a out-of-the-box forecast report, and you can actually weigh that confidence percentage by the total value of the lead, which sometimes gives you a little bit more realistic of a forecast, right? So if we have a lead that's sitting in the pitch phase and it's set to a 50% confidence, and we weigh it by the confidence, it'll forecast 500 of those dollars. Okay, the other options here, so you can say if a lead sits in this stage for a certain period of time, we want to mark it as overdue. Overdue is filterable as well. So if you're a sales manager, you can have a saved list, maybe pinned to your dashboard that would say, show me any lead that's more than 30 minutes overdue. And it's a good way to kind of monitor leads that are sitting in a stage for too long. And then if you want to keep the pipeline clean without having the reps having to remember to go back and close a lead, you could say I want a lead to automatically close. Let's say if it sits in this stage for 30 days, and you could set the outcome too, which is another option you could set up from over here. So it could be, could not contact or something like that, or no budget or whatever those outcomes would be for you. Okay, so now that we have the stages set up, these blocks below each stage are the different automations that you can build in. So the first row of blocks that we see here are automatic assignment. And so if you have leads that are coming in through a web form or you're importing a big list of leads into this pipeline, how do you want them to assign? Of course, they could go to an individual rep on the team, or you could set up a team in Nutshell, and you could set up different rules. Like, so we can say, I want them to go to the inside sales team, but I want them to round robin. So everybody on the team gets an even number of the leads that are coming into this pipeline. You could also set up certain criteria or special cases that can route those leads to the appropriate rep or team as well. So it could be product base, it could be territories that you set up. For instance, we could say if it's our Sundog product, those always go to Antonio. And I can apply that. So I can continue to add rules as well. So basically, this is going to happen unless one of these specific cases or rules comes in, then it's going to automatically assign it to Antonio in this case here. So now we got our assignment. Assignment can change as the lead progresses, or if you just have it assigned at the front of the pipeline here, it'll keep that same assignment the whole way through the funnel here. Right below that are your stage goals. And so these are what automatically move the lead to the next stage and trigger your next step once the goal is met. And so in the first stage here, maybe our first goal or stage goal is just to get their contact information. And so this is the list of kind of predefined stage goals that we set up for you. So it could be gathering their contact information, adding a certain value to the lead. So you can say if the lead is over, let's say $1,000, automatically move it to the next stage. If it's below that, keep it in the stage it's in. Scheduling or completing any activity, and those activities can be custom to the activities that you do as an organization. Sending or receiving an email from the lead, or if you send an email and they click a link on that email, that could be enough to progress it to the next stage. And then if none of these make sense for your stage goal, you can use this, learn something specific about the lead and create your own custom stage goal using a custom field. So in this case, we're just going to say we need to get all of their contact info. Once we get all their contact info, Nutshell will recognize that and it'll move them to the qualifying stage. In this stage, we're trying to get you on a phone call. So what we're going to say is if we complete an activity and that activity is a phone call, we're going to move it to the schedule phase. Right here, the schedule phase, we're going to say if we schedule an activity and the activity is a meeting, or we'll say if it's a demo as well, we want that to move it to the pitch phase. And then in the pitch phase, we're going to say we're completing another activity, and this activity is a demo. And then we don't need one in the closing phase just because that's the end of the funnel here. So, all right, so now we got our stage goal set up. I should say too, so if you don't have a stage goal, the tasks that are in that stage will act as the stage goal and move it to the next stage. So this could be good use if it's more of a project style pipeline. The tasks basically show up as a nice checklist. So you could say, once you get through the checklist, automatically move it to the next stage and trigger the next steps here. So that's what these are. These are automated tasks. So in the new lead stage, maybe we just want a reminder to go out and do some research. Because again, we're trying to find their contact information. You could set a due date too for when you want that to be due. Let's say we want this one fairly quick. So 1 hour after the lead is opened, we want to get that reminder to go out and do some research. Once we can do the research, we get their contact info, it moves it here. We're trying to get you on a phone call. And so the reminders are to basically go out and do those outbound calls. So we're going to say call number 1. We're going to leave it assigned to the lead owner. We're going to make it due pretty quick. We're going to say 1 hour after the stage is entered. We want to get the reminder to go out and do that first phone call. Now, if we don't get them on the first phone call, we're going to do a few other attempts here. So call 1, we're going to do call number 2. We're going to do this one pretty quick. We're going to say 1 business day after the prior task is completed. And then if we don't get them on the second call, we're going to try 1 more here. So we're going to say call number 3. And we'll do this. We'll give them a few days. We'll say 3 business days after the prior task is completed. Okay. So the way this works, and I'll show you once we set up a lead and start working it through the pipeline here, is let's say we try the first attempt, we don't get them. 1 day later, we try the second attempt and we log that we did the phone call. It's going to move into the next stage and cancel out this third attempt here. So think of these as like the checklist that you're trying to get through to try to get you to this goal here. In the schedule phase, we'll get a reminder to just schedule. If they don't schedule the meeting, let's say in 3 days, 3 business days here, after the stage is entered in this case. Now, if you're using Google or Office 365 as your email and calendar, we do offer a two-way sync integration. So the way it would work is, let's say that they're sitting in this stage, somebody books either through maybe a scheduler link, which is a native Nutshell tool as well. It's basically a link that connects to your calendar. Somebody can click that link, see your availability, pick a slot. It'll put a meeting on both your calendars. Or let's just say that you manually book a meeting, right? You do the whole back and forth thing, you put a meeting on the calendar. Nutshell will recognize that. It'll sync into Nutshell as a scheduled activity and automatically move it to the pitch phase for you. So basically, this reminder is just kind of there in place if they don't go through and click your link to schedule, or you don't do the manual back and forth within 3 days. And then in the pitch phase, probably don't need any tasks because we're just waiting for the pitch meeting to happen. So once we log that we did that demo, and we can add another one here too. We could say if it's a demo or if we just log that we did a meeting together, that's going to meet the goal here, and then it's going to move it to close. Now, in the closing stage, this is probably where the negotiation is happening, right? So let's say that we do the meeting, it moves it over here. We're probably going to want to do a recap email that's kind of tailored around the stuff that you talked about on the call. If you don't set a due date, it's just going to basically sit at the top of your task list until you do it. And so this one, we probably don't need a due date. We're just going to have it sit there until we send the recap and check the box that we did it. And then once we do the recap email, we're probably going to want to do some follow-up tasks as well that remind us to like check in, maybe do a couple close calls, we'll call them. So we're going to call this close call number 1. We'll do close call / email. Okay, and we're going to set the due date. We'll give it, we'll say 3 business days after the prior task is complete. And then same thing, we'll probably do another one where it's, close call email number 2. Maybe we'll do another. We'll just do this one as a close call number 2. And we're going to set this to be, we'll do 4 business days after the prior task is complete. Okay, so this is a pretty well set up automated pipeline here. Now, the other 2 things that you could set up as well, and you usually probably want to do these earlier in the funnel here, is the email or text automations. And so the personal email sequencing is basically a one-to-one email sequence where we're going to leverage your email provider to send these. So if you're on Google or Office 365, it's actually going to leverage that to send them. So these are great for prospecting. Maybe you have a cold outreach sequence that's tailored for prospects. Anytime that you drop them into this pipeline, they're going to start getting that automated email sequence, or they're great for inbound. Right? So maybe you have a web form on your website for contact us or request quote. As soon as somebody completes the form, we can put them in the first stage of your pipeline, and that could trigger an automated personal email sequence that would be like, hey, thanks for reaching out. I'd love to jump on a discovery call with you. Here's a link to my calendar. Click here to find a time that works for you. If they don't respond to the first email, maybe you could do 2 or 3 or 4 business days later, send my follow-up, right? Just checking back on my last note. If you're still interested, click here to find a time that works. The way these work is the sequence is either going to run its course, so they're going to get all the emails in the sequence, or if they reply at any point, it's going to cancel the follow-ups, and you could just pick up the conversation manually from there. So in this case, in our workflow that we have set up here, the new lead stage, we're just trying to get your contact info. So once we get your name, email, and phone number, it's going to move you here. So at this stage, we would want to start our sequence. And so again, we're going to get these reminders to go out and do outbound calls, which we'll do manually. But I want an email sequence to start running from the time it hits that stage. So we're going to choose our reaching out template. We can do a delay. We'll just do 15 minutes after the lead hits that stage, start sending it. And then I usually say stop sending the email after it moves out of the stage that it's in here, which is qualify in this case. And the reason I do that is because maybe the email sequence is running here and I get you on this first phone call. Once I log that we did it and it moves it to the next stage, even though they didn't respond to the sequence, it's going to cancel the follow-ups. So it's a good way to prevent them from getting emails that don't make sense because you already connected with them. The text automations, I don't have it connected to this account, but if I did, it would have the same blocks here. And basically what you could do is you can write out a text, you can pull their first name, their last name, their full name onto it to personalize it. You basically just type the text out, and it's almost like using that text that you typed out as a template. So anytime a lead hits that stage, it's going to automatically send the text with whatever delay you have. And then the drip sequences would be for marketing. So Nutshell's core product is a CRM. We also have a full marketing suite as well, where we can do email marketing, broadcasts, newsletters, and in this case, drip sequences. The difference between these two types of email with the one-to-one plain text, it looks like you're going into Outlook or Gmail and typing up a message from scratch. So you're usually looking for a response with this type of email. There's no unsubscribe or anything like that. Where with the drip sequences, it's more of a one-to-many approach to emailing, right? Where it's HTML, you can dress the emails up really nicely. You're not usually looking for a response, like they can be in place to kind of nurture, in this case, your prospect through this pipeline or this process here. So a good example, maybe you have a 30-day sales cycle on average. Maybe as soon as they hit this stage or this stage, we're going to put them on a 4 email marketing drip where it's informational, right? So maybe the first email is testimonials or customer stories. Maybe email number 2 is the different products and services that we offer. Again, not looking for a response, but just trying to keep us top of mind as they're going through that 30-day cycle here. All right, so this is when the lead is open. You can also set different automations based on the outcome. So this follow through button here. So these are the outcomes, and you can basically say if we win a lead, maybe we want a task reminding us to move them over to the onboarding pipeline. And we'll leave it to the assignee here as the lead owner, but you could assign it, maybe Jason's on the onboarding team, right? So he'll get an automated task reminding him that onboarding needs to happen. You could also automatically update the company type. So maybe they start as a standard account or a prospect, and you can customize these here. Maybe as soon as a lead is won, we want to automatically convert them to a customer. And then right below that, these are the marketing drips again. So maybe if we win a lead, we're going to put you on our post-win marketing drip automatically, where it's like, thanks for choosing us. We look forward to working with you. If you need help, here's how you get in contact with support. If we lose a lead, maybe we're automatically going to put you on our win back drip sequence that tries to re-engage with you 30, 60, 90 days later to try to nurture you back to us. So that is how you set up an automated pipeline in Nutshell. And now let's take you through quickly just working a lead through that pipeline so you can see how the automations work. So to create a new lead, if you're doing it from scratch, you can hit this Add New button here. We're going to say we want to create a lead. We did just add the ability to customize the fields that appear on these lead forms here as well. So if there's certain fields you don't care about or you want to make fields required or add your custom fields, you can do that from here. We don't have to name it. It's going to name it after the company we add to the lead. So let's just say we have a lead for ABC company. They don't exist in the system already. If they did, it would show up down here. So we're going to create them. And our contact is going to be John Smith. Doesn't exist, so we're going to add John Smith here. Okay, you notice that I could have put the email, phone number, all that stuff from this form here. We're going to do it from the lead just so I can, again, show you the automation here. Oh, and I think I actually put it in the wrong pipeline, which is fine because we could show you how to move it to one of your other pipelines if you do drop it into the wrong pipeline here. All right. So this is in the default pipeline. And here's how you move it to the next pipeline. So we're going to move it to the one that we created, right? Our inside sales pipeline. So this is what it looks like to the rep who's working a lead through it. So here's our stages here. So we can see in the new lead stage, this is our goal. So we've already got the name. Now we need to get an email address and we need to get a phone number. So I can hover over John here and I can add that right from here. We'll just do jsmith@abc.com. And then for the phone number, we got a phone number now. There we go. So moved over to the qualifying stage. You can see we don't have the email address connected here, so it's not going to start sending it. Or I don't have an email sync connected. If I did, that reaching out sequence would start sending. Here's the tasks that are reminding us to go out and do these phone calls. And we do actually have our own native outbound IP phone system. So you could do unlimited calling directly through your Nutshell account. I don't have it connected to this account, but if I did, I could hover over a number. There'd be a green phone icon there. I can click it. It's going to place the phone call. I can even transcribe the call and use AI to write my notes when I hang it up. Um, for the sake of this demo here, let's just say that we called John outside of Nutshell. Maybe I picked up my desk phone here and called him. We didn't get him on the phone. I can check that I did this. And now I can forget about this lead because February 17th, we'll be reminded to come back and do our next attempt. Let's say that it's February 17th. We come back, we do that phone call with John here. I'd come down here. I'd say I want to log an activity. I can write all my notes here, walk through pricing, or whatever it is, log that. That's going to live down here in the timeline with all of our communication history. And because that was our stage goal, that's going to move it to the schedule phase here. So if we come back up to the top, the lead has now advanced the schedule. Now I don't have a calendar connected to this account, but again, if I did, if a meeting with John on it hit my calendar, it's going to automatically recognize that and move it to the pitch phase. We'll just manually click it to the pitch phase for the sake of the demo here. And now my goal in the pitch phase is again to log that we completed a meeting or demo together. And so I'm going to come down here. I'm going to say that we did a demo in this case. Same thing. I could type my notes out. We even have this note taker feature, which is really cool, where you could just voice to text your notes and AI is going to try to clean them up as you're talking here. When you're done, hit that button, hit log, and now we're going to have a demo logged. And because that was our stage goal, Nutshell is going to automatically move it to the close stage. So here we go, we're in the close stage, and then here's those automated tasks that are reminding us to do things, right? So this is send the recap. Once we sent the recap email, I would check that box, and now we get a reminder to come back and do our first close call, February 19th. So again, this is how to set up a automated pipeline in Nutshell. I hope this was helpful. If you guys do have questions or get stuck, please feel free to reach out to support@nutshell.com or sales@nutshell.com, and we will be happy to help you through this. Again, my name is Jared. I'm on the sales team, and I hope everybody has a wonderful morning, night, evening, and we'll hopefully be working with you soon. Thanks.